Crossing the street, catching a bus, or even making a cup of coffee. These things most of us don't have to think about. But what if you lost your sight? Blind people see the world in a different way. Klaus invited us into his home to see what it's like to live as a blind person.
I think I can still see some things, but it's more in my head than in my eyes.
Klaus Thorgerson was born blind due to a lack of oxygen at birth. He has been living as a blind person in Aarhus for the past 25 years.
With all these things that you can never get your hands on, you'll just have to make your own images. They may not be correct, but you'll have to live with them.
Klaus has many items in his home to help him with daily tasks, relying on sound and on touch.
I have very basic pictures of some things like trees and grass and snow and buildings, but even when I could see this is very sketchy and very basic. And I know, I can see the sun and I know what dark is, but it's very. It can never be better than this small part of the sight that I had when I had the sight. But it's probably ready now. It is ready now. You use Braille when you want to check something, you want to check spelling, or you want to read something without speech. So every day I use Braille.
He uses Braille to read and understand technology, but sometimes this still poses some difficulty.
You can find your way around doing things so that it doesn't make that much of a difference. But sometimes you get into situations where your blindness gets in the way, and that's annoying.
Klaus has a guide dog named Shmila. She has been helping him get around for the past 3 years.
It's when you live with it, you can see what the dog can do, and you can see how much better I've done the same with some of my friends who didn't want to have a dog, and then they have tried walking around and seeing that suddenly I'm 200 meters in front because they've suddenly missed a pole or missed a sign or anything like that. So you also discover how much it actually helps you getting around. You can walk freely like other people. As soon as you start to use your cane, you get tense because you know that at some time the cane will hit something and you have to stop very fast not to hit it or not to go into the ground or stuff like that. It's a whole other way of moving around because you have this freedom. You can just tell as long as you kind of in the dog and you agree where you want to go, you can just like forget about it and walk on. It's really nice. The main thing that a guide dog does is kind of to take you from one place to the other place. So you kind of set the directions and tell her where to go, and then she moves out and finds the way and avoids bikes and trees and scooters and people and everything else. And that means that you can actually you can walk faster, you can even run if you like. The dog can just, turn right and go outside because there are nothing to tell the dog to stop. So it's actually really dangerous. Mm-hmm. Of course, I know this place. I've lived here for 25 years. But if I was coming here as for the first time, I wouldn't know that you could just walk out to the street without really knowing what you're doing. And the same thing happens in all the places where they have made these changes. And it's actually and the cars are supposedly driving slower, so they can actually be hard to hear. And of course, especially if it's windy.
Klaus is an example that despite daily challenges, his blindness is not a hurdle, but a difference.